trends we identify, it's not so simple. I think that was the trend, that it was a high degree of diversity. It was not a clear type of submission which was the majority, even though I would say something installation type of works were definitely more in the majority than performative and like acousmatic music, classical composition works. They are, I would say, they are really declining, and this has either to do that they don't attract the award, that the people don't think this kind of work is having a chance to get the award, or it is the case that these works are not so much produced anymore.
I would agree with that, and also when it comes to the trends or like the general tendencies, the diversity is definitely an issue, the diversity of the submission origins and so on, but also the diversity of voices and types of expression. Well, I was coming to the jury, I was expecting there would be a lot of large-scale audiovisual installations, which is something I connect with Prix Ars Electronica, but like without being here ever or being part of the jury. At the same time, I was surprised by how vast the amount of projects was in terms of different genres, forms, and also the social engagement. I think that's a thing that was more visible than I think in the past awards. There were lots of projects that were connected with the issues of ecology, climate change, Anthropocene, and those works we have noticed and were particularly impressed by. So we weren't only looking at the sonic aspects or the compositions, which was super important, and there were so many beautiful pieces that were like very insular and delicate and minimal, but at the same time maybe they were lacking the social context. So what was attracting us to some works was the engagement, the social engagement of the artists creating those works. Also, what I thought was particularly intriguing was the fact that there wasn't many performances, but the ones that were there, they really truly stood out for me personally. And also, yeah, the fact that there were lots of works, maybe not lots, but a few works that particularly stood out with a tendency to look into the past, the tradition of the artists or the heritage of the artists or the culture they were coming from. And those I thought were particularly great.
Yeah, may add that heritage works were kind of, I had the feeling, a new category which is emerging now, because we have such a long time of history of electroacoustic music, of music technology, of sound and technology, and there are many, let's say, objects, items, ways of thinking. And even though one work was referring to a musical object which was 6,000 years old, so this kind of archaeological aspect of sonic presence in social groups, they were present. I think as well the deviation of application around the world was quite impressive. I didn't have the feeling anymore that it's a very Eurocentric application. It has been before, not so much Eurocentric, but the coverage of many countries in the world, that was impressive as well.
And also I was expecting more works using AI, and actually maybe also because those weren't as striking, like musically or sonically or in terms of the presentation. We've decided to focus also on self-built acoustic instruments. Those were like kind of interesting and unusual, more than the generative algorithmic works, which also shows us a pattern, maybe, or like something that we've noticed among a jury with people coming from different backgrounds, that even though there is this focus on technology in this award, at the same time technology or the medium is not something we're that crazy about. Ultimately, we're looking for a piece that's coherent, beautiful, relates to important topics. So I thought that this was like something that, as a jury, which wasn't always in agreement, we still managed to come to a certain to a final decision that we were all happy with.
Yeah, I think it was new as well that AI was not such a topic to superimpose. It's like AI is one of the tools they used and they mentioned here and there, but it's already very normal. It became normal to use AI. That's, for me, this jury the first time I observed this. Well, I think the Prix Ars Electronica is different to other awards. One is the tradition, the experience the Ars Electronica has, the kind of what it stands for, what it represents is a clear picture of communication, I would say. It's not technology per se, it's as well technology as a tool to do something with it. So the content, the aspect, what do I transport with this technology is very important. No, it's and on the other hand, it's not aesthetic on its own is important. It's always this connection of both technology and aesthetics and artistic expression.
I would agree with that, and also with I should say the sentence again. Yeah. So what attracts me and what I'm impressed by the Prix Ars Electronica is first of all duration, like, and also in this time that the award has been given in the last over three decades. It has established itself as this important award that marks the territory of where the technology is changing in the arts. But what I find particularly compelling about it is that it changes even quicker as the technology does. So like we can mark certain tendencies that are changing in the music in our case, but also in other fields, and the focus on that. On the acceleration of the development of technology is something we can observe with this particular award more than with others, focusing on the innovation unknown and the really fresh developments of what's happening. What I would say also is that in our category, I found few areas of the world kind of missing. So I hope that what should or maybe what could happen to Prix is maybe it should, with its big profile that it has worldwide, it could also reach out to the different areas of the world that it's already known with the global community, artistic community that's more and more connected. It would probably be also of benefit to the Prix to reach out to those different genres and geographical areas. But it's definitely been already doing this, especially in this call, I would say. I think the AI challenge hasn't been as visible, at least in the works I have been checking or assessing, and I feel that there were a few works that were kind of generative to the point that they weren't interesting or worth noticing in a way. But I feel that the challenge will come first of all with distribution. I think the distribution and the fact that algorithms are already so dominant in the way that the music is distributed. So looking at the way that the artist will be credited, paid, this is like the biggest disadvantage. I feel that the AI in general will probably create even more similar sounding music in the kind of commercial realms or the kind of music of the background realms. But at the same time, I don't find it as a massive challenge, because I still believe that the artists that are real disruptors, innovators, they will still stand out even more so faced to the challenge of AI stealing some of the ideas or replicating them and taking them further. I think the real disruptors and the people with truly humane voice, that will remain original and stay there. And so far we have seen it in this call that we've been in the mass of the works we've been awarding, or the works that that have been given certain distinctions as a part of this year's Prix Ars Electronica. Also, I feel that AI also will enhance this originality and help. It will be used like a tool that we don't really discuss anymore. It will help humans go further with their own ideas. That's just my take on it.
I think AI still has a lot of, initiates a lot of critique amongst the people who don't know exactly what it is. So there is a lot of communication necessary so that they understand what is AI exactly, and that they shouldn't be afraid, that they should be positive and understand it as a tool of creation, a new potential of creation. The second is, with the introduction of AI, suddenly another type of actor is in the game. I shouldn't say a new one, but another type that is, because AI is exclusively bound to people who know how to program. And it's a special type of environment. So it excludes, this topic of AI excludes certain people, certain artists, because they don't know how to program Python or whatever AI. And this will probably change in the future, where they have, let's say, AI lights environment, which are used by a bigger variety of artists. Second, I expect a lot of more variety of problems which were addressed by AI. We already saw in the contribution, the questions solved with AI were kind of very diverse. And the field of, I thought in the field of music it is, I don't know exactly what we can expect from AI creating sound, AI as a generative tool to create sound. We have mostly AIs to create parameters, but not really sonic experiences, I should say. And there, because it's this translation into FFT, it's an additional aspect of complexity. There I don't know exactly what we have to expect, and if it's a dead road, or if it will be a highway in a couple of years. But it's very impressive how, as we all know, how fast the speed of this evolution is going. I'm not sure what this filtering process, the accessibility of AI to artistic processes will cause by the, let's say, crowd of artists. Will it be that some of them are emerging because they know how to program AI, and the others will be not as innovative? Or this question I cannot answer.